Welcome back to the LCS Lock-In 2026 playoffs. Today we have C9 versus FlyQuest. I did not watch this game live, but so I did know the results of this game. So my opinion on the drafts are going to be skewed because I already know what happened. But with that being said, I think this first draft is quite interesting. Oh, this is a VOD review, by the way, and hope you're having a good day. I think this first draft is quite interesting. The top side of the map from both sides, the way this played out in the early game, or the 1-2, etc., is quite interesting to me. Nico picked early, Ambessa first pick over Rumble. I'm not gonna go too far into it. I'm gonna quickly mention though that I think Jhin, Alistar, 4-5 just cannot be correct in this game. There should be no way we're ending on Jhin against Galio, K'Sante, and Bessa. I just refuse to accept that that is what we're supposed to be doing. So, in my opinion, FlyQuest definitely did something wrong in the 4-5 part of the ban phase, or picking Rise on 3 maybe is not correct, or picking Zaheen on 2 isn't correct, or picking Rumble on 1 is correct. Like, something went wrong for FlyQuest that they ended up with Jhin. I think the rest of it is interesting, but we'll just skip it for time purposes. So, for those that don't know, this was a quick 3-0, and it's one of the fastest games of all time, one of the fastest best of fives of all time in the LCS. The first piece of action that happens is in the bot crab. Now, in the last series that C9 and FlyQuest played, there was a lot of fighting over scuttle, especially the second scuttle. And this series is no different. In that first series, Blabber almost always got the better of Griffin, and in this series, again, it was the exact same. C9 win this early skirmish, and this is already just a very good start for C9. I would say in terms of scaling, it's not clear which team scales significantly better. I think if they had any champ except Jhin, it would be FlyQuest scales better. But I just find it hard to believe that Jhin has a lot of value this game. I think they picked Jhin because if they picked a carry champ, then the lane would be really hard. But I don't know. We'll move on. So a nice first blood for C9. And C9 get the first dragon. APA getting the kill, by the way, is pretty good, because this lane matchup is pretty difficult mid lane. And he got a double buffs in the early game. There's a pause. We'll skip that. And Cena got the first dragon. So something that I kind of realized I've fallen into is I'm not doing a good job, in my opinion, of talking about things that aren't just the action things happen in the game. And I realized this like halfway while I was making the notes for this series. So this first game, it should be more like the other ones, but I think in the coming games I talk a little bit more about what the plans are beyond just the things that happened. And the reason I mention that is just in terms of where the junglers are pathing and when people should be here. In this case, FlyQuest is diving bot lane, but I think it's just a 2v2 problem. I don't think Blabber is supposed to be here, nor is Griffin supposed to be here. They're both just doing their full clears. But it is something that I've noticed, and I just noticed in this series. Anyways, nothing super exciting. Grub spawned, but neither jungler opted to go for it. I think because they're both ending their paths bot lane, and Blabber after finishing is clear, I think. I'm not really 100% sure, but they get a gank, they get a kill into Krajan, and Griffin does the grubs in the meantime. Now, top lane and mid lane are kind of just going fine. Thanatos is winning this Rumble K'Sante matchup, which is not... From the K'Sante side, you're not supposed to win. And APA is also going dead even, probably in large part due to the kill that he got, frankly. But also going even on Galio in this matchup is pretty good. So the next dragon is spawning. And... oh yeah, here we go. There's a fight that starts. Oh yeah, I remember this. So this was a really good engage from FlyQuest, but I think the problem here from FlyQuest is something I see happen a lot in early skirmishes between like the 5-minute mark and the 15-minute mark is people use too many spells on the support, and it just doesn't matter if the support dies. The support has effectively done its job here, and yes, the Vulcan does go down, but it ultimately doesn't matter for the result of this fight if Vulcan is dead after using all of his spells or alive. So the fact that he dies and everyone else is full HP just means C9 is obviously going to win this fight. And well, that's pretty slick from Griffin to find this angle and then ult the Nico ult. It looked really cool in swag, but ultimately I just don't think it was very effective. I think they were looking for a pick, and it ended up not being a pick. It ended up just being a full fight, and that's not the way you want to play a full fight. So there is a skirmish. Oh, I'll also go full screen. Sorry about that. There's a skirmish that happens in the bot side of the map here. And good start for FlyQuest. But I think a big differentiator in these early fights has been the Galio ulti being way faster than Rise and being way more impactful than Rise. In this case, Galio ulti didn't really do anything, but it makes it significantly more difficult for FlyQuest to do anything should they want to. Although, again, Jin is just so low damage here. You know, he uses a lot of his damage, and it just isn't that much at this point, frankly. Now they are really behind. Now it's 4K gold at 14 minutes, which is almost, you know, just open. But never open, not a competitive game. And we'll see how FlyQuest play out from behind. Now, the dragon is spawning. C9's up 4K. FlyQuest opt to fight this dragon. Why they decide to fight this dragon instead of trading, I'm not really sure. I guess they just think that they're not going to get anything if they try to trade because they're against Cassante Galio. But this is honestly kind of a hard fight even if they played it well. But FlyQuest didn't even play this fight particularly well. C9 find a good engage onto Quad, but Quad should just not be standing here, not be in engage range. And because he gets engaged, Griffin and Cryogen have to go in to save him. And Griffin is going in. Vulcan has a good ultimate to delay the backline from C9. And the fight is already over by the time the carries even get into the fight as Fly. Now, okay, again, they're down a lot of gold, so every fight's losing. But I'm not sure that that's the fight they're supposed to take in that case. Honestly, like, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just the game is so behind that it just doesn't matter straight up. But I would like to see more resilient defense from FlyQuest, because especially as the series goes on, and maybe it's an element of tilt, but I really think they were being very undisciplined and made a lot of basic mistakes. Although this play from C9 was crazy. So Cassante is TPing in, and all of FlyQuest is here. C9 is setting up to try and take this top tier 1, but Thanatos TPing under the tower with no creeps was pretty bad. But this is kind of, you know, they're down 6k gold. So even though it's effectively a 5v4, a good Nico ultimate with a good Galio ult on top of it results in just a complete wipe of the fight, even though it was basically 5v4. And Nash is secured off of this. Griffin died, so Nash goes down, and there's no contest. Now, looking at the Baron setup, we have APA pushing top, and Thanatos is staying bot, not allowing FlyQuest to trade. When the objective bounties are alive, you really want to be hesitant in allowing the enemy to trade, because the objective bounties are worth a lot of gold. So trading tier 2s, which is something you're not wanting to do anyway, but sometimes you do, is even worse when objective bounties is a thing. Now, Sven almost gets caught there, but has to blow flash, and then APA TP's in to defend Sven, and then also has to blow flash. Another dragon fight, but this time FlyQuest pretty much have to fight. It's Ocean Soul, so you're forced to fight, but you're down a lot of gold. It is not really winnable. They decide to go onto APA, who has no flash. I think it's a good idea. They're just too far down in gold, frankly. I think if APA gets 100-0'd here in the CC, like here, he gets knocked up and he dies fast, and they can start hitting other people, like maybe this is fightable, but okay. C9 get Ocean Soul. APA types GG in all chat because he's a BM. And the game goes a bit longer because APA does get caught mid lane here. No Baron, but okay. We're giving a huge shutdown away for zero reason. But ultimately, C9 is still up 11k gold. This game was not very interesting. So we'll just skip to when APA respawned and they're in the base and they're taking the top inhib. Rise is getting the objective bounties. This is one of the situations where FlyQuest putting Rise upon to get the objective bounties and losing inhibs, I honestly think is not that bad of a decision. You get a lot more gold. C9 have to be careful about ending the game, because if they don't end the game too quickly, then the super minions are going to matter in terms of like they're killing the minions that C9 want for gold. Gakkos. I mean, none of that really matters because we're talking about Baron. C9 is talking about Baron now, and they go for the engage, and they just completely wipe them. So probably this engage was good enough even without the relative power of their gold lead and the Ocean Soul, but they had those, so it makes it even easier, and C9 end off this push eventually. Game 1, FlyQuest not really in it to win it. They kind of got really behind really quickly, and it was not very close. So let's look at game 2. Now, game 2's draft, I think, is better from the bot lane perspective. I think Nami Yunara is a bit strange. I'm not sure how good this lane actually is, but it makes a lot more sense to me than the FlyQuest bot lane did last game. The problem I have with FlyQuest draft this game is I don't see the value in the Trundle pick. I'm not sure why we're picking Trundle. From a strategic standpoint, I understand that having Trundle picked here means that the enemy cannot take Trundle into your Scion and make it annoying for him. I just don't know if that matters. I think if you just pick a better jungler champ, even potentially taking away the Vi, I think that could be a lot more effective than picking this Trundle here, because I don't really see why we're picking Trundle. Renekton isn't that bothered by Trundle. Yes, he seals some AD, and the subjugation makes Renekton not really tanky, but right? It's not that good. Trundle doesn't get a lot of value out of the picks that are already locked in. And for context, it's Azir first pick, then Renekton Talia, then Scion Trundle. So I'm not really a big fan of the Trundle in this game, but it is fine. I think it's okay, but I just wouldn't want... I feel like there is something better than having this play out. So this was really interesting. This is not something we see very often. Now, there was a bit of action in the mid lane and the bot lane, but nothing came of it. Both junglers did just do some classic full clears, as is the style in the current meta. But what isn't the style is 5-minute sneaking dragon. Once upon a time, you had to war dragons so that junglers didn't keep doing this. And it's been so long that everyone stopped doing it. And Blabber just decided, you know what, I'm going to try to sneak the dragon. And the huge benefit that this has isn't just that we get an early ocean dragon, which is really OP in lane. It's also that the dragon functions as the level 6 marker for junglers if you get them before second scuttle. Blabber is now level 6, and this is poor communication in my opinion from Griffin. He should tell his bot lane and mid laner, careful, Vi is level 6. And there were a lot of trades early bot lane, so Masu not having flash here is a death sentence. He is just completely dead, and this is really good for C9's bot lane. The early trades in this game were quite crazy, and I feel like that's just how all enchanter lanes work. But a good adaptation from Blabber to not only get the dragon, but utilize that timing on his level 6, where potentially even pros are not going to be on top of it to get a kill for his bot lane. So here, there's another fight bot lane, but this time FlyQuest gets the better of it. So this is probably like the first time FlyQuest feels like they're, you know, dictating the pace of the game in either of the games. In the first game, it was basically, ever since the very beginning, it was C9 favored. But in this game, this winning 2v2 from FlyQuest undoes the death that Masu just had and gets them this advantage and gets them a good place in the series. APA almost gets a trade kill on the extended play, but does not manage to do so. What's important to know about that bot play, by the way, is both junglers were there, but they were kind of... Griffin basically stopped Blabber from joining, and that is what led to Blabber's death. So because of the very early dragon, this is the second dragon, and both teams do want to secure the dragon, so much so that both top laners are coming down. This is Renekton's favorite time to fight. He just got his Black Cleaver. Blabber got his first item. APA has his first item. So the completed items are all in C9's favor. So I would assume that this is a C9 favorite fight just based on that. However, just because it is in theory a C9 favorite fight does not necessarily mean that it will be C9 to win the fight. And Scion getting there faster was a big part on why Blabber goes down at the beginning. FlyQuest slightly overchased, but they don't go down here. And this dragon does go the way of FlyQuest. So I would argue that, well, I wouldn't argue. C9 gets outscaled this game by a lot. It's Scion as 0 Helios. You're getting outscaled. So losing this dragon is actually quite bad. And I think they should have had a winning position considering the item completions. But poor positioning leads to a losing fight. Okay, so this is one of the macro decisions that gets made. In this case, C9 opt to not go to Grubs. Now, Grubs has been up for a while. Instead, they're opting to continue their full clear on the jungler. And I think they see Trundle on the pink Phaelite, the pink ward Phaelite that is in the top river. And they're spam pinging the question mark on the Grubs. And this is the indication for C9 to walk into the bot lane. I don't think this is good macro from C9. I think that this is not worth it. I think what FlyQuest does here is exactly what you're supposed to do in this situation. You leave your bot lane, you take your bot lane out of bot lane, you drop the wave, you put the mid lane, and you bring your mid laner top and dive that person. And even though it's Scion versus Renekton traditionally very difficult champ to dive. Scion, not really the champion you think of when diving. It doesn't matter. It's just 3v1. Everyone on C9 is bot side. And not only do FlyQuest get the grub, so this plate trade isn't as bad, but they also get a kill, and their AD carry doesn't get that much weaker in comparison to the animated carry because he's still getting a wave. Now, Griffin dying on the backside is pretty bad, but you know, definitely fly with some signs of life in this game and keeping in it in the current moment. The death is pretty bad, and because of the death, this means Quad has to TP down bot lane. He can't go top. Blabber still has Vial, so he just can't go top, so he decides I might as well go bot lane. I think this makes a lot of sense as well. And Thanatos tries to just force his way into this bot tower and just dies. So a pretty big misplay from Thanatos here, because he can probably sit under this tower for this wave because his ult's coming up right now. It just came up. But the fact that he dies trying to get under the tower means that he obviously cannot be here for this wave. FlyQuest got this tower, and I think FlyQuest is doing great. Again, they get outscaled. FlyQuest outscaled by a lot this game, so C9 does want to push the pace of the game. And it isn't, you know, danger territory that they're not up a lot of gold, but it is not good that they're not winning yet. They're not losing. The carries, especially the 80 carry, is really far ahead from C9, but it's certainly not what you would want from C9's side. Now, the Herald fight starts, or Herald spawns, and both teams are here. C9 starts it, but they manage to not get the eye because Gatghost is here, Scion, and Thanatos didn't commit the TP. He's just pushing bot lane. Now, because if we just go back for a second, if we look at Sven here on the Yunara, Gatghost gets the ulti and forces the flash and the dash ult from Sven. The dragon's up in 50 seconds, and C9 opt not to fight it. And I'm pretty sure it's because they don't have any flash or ult on their 80 carry, who's strong. So they say, you know what? We're just not going to fight this. And Thanatos getting a bot tower is good. They don't get the Herald, but they deny FlyQuest from getting Herald. All things considered, I think C9 is not too upset about the sequence. It can definitely have been better if Sven didn't get caught, but sometimes that's just how it is. Now, all that macro talk, sometimes there's no macro to talk about. Sometimes people just make a mistake. And in this case, it is our good friend Griffin, who is walking up, unfortunately, and just gets one shot. So, unfortunate. Fly was doing well. C9 got a gold injection for having Thanatos be bot lane and taking the waves to the tower. But now this kill into Griffin, now their gold lead is actually much bigger and more serious, and they're looking to pressure more because Griffin is dead. They're looking to maybe potentially dive here, but nothing does happen. Now, the last time Zen played Yunara that I remember, he was constantly going in onto the enemy AD carry. I think it was still Masu, because I think they last played Fly. He was constantly going in on Masu, and he does the same thing this game as you saw there. And shortly after that play just happened, he just runs at Masu. I don't know. This is why I'm kind of fine with Nami Yunara. It does look pretty good at this point. Now, are you supposed to get to this point? Up 1.5k gold? Probably not. But it is good. But Scion ulting here, which is a bit hard to tell because the volume's a bit low, incites a Renekton TP. This is not very good for C9. While it is good that Sven played aggressively and, you know, is making Masu be very careful about when he chooses to walk up, the TP for the Scion ulti is not a worth trade, and now C9 has to be careful about how they're playing the map without a Renekton TP. So this is not the same clip. Oh, actually, this is interesting macro. Masu is walking up and does get chunked a lot, and C9 get mid tower off this because Masu is too low. But something that is interesting about this is if you look at the mini map, Azir is trailing Scion and Renekton is supposed to be bot lane, but Renekton just ran mid and it has just been sitting here for a while. And is just giving Sven safety here on mid lane in case Masu tries to do something crazy. So as soon as Renekton shows, Masu essentially just has to instantly leave. And both solo laners from FlyQuest were trying to make a trap play onto him. So it ended up being a lot better than Thanatos was probably expecting it to be, because nobody has been top lane clearing that wave. APA has just been getting those creeps for himself. So it ends up being both side lanes were missing a wave effectively, and Quad, who was trailing the Scion, didn't do anything, and Renekton trailing Sven did do something, and they got mid tower off it. I like this build from APA. I need to try this as well. Blackfire Torch Actualizer with Unsealed Spellbook. I don't think the Unsealed Spellbook is that important, but I like the Blackfire Torch and then Actualizer second. I've never really thought about that. So we'll see. So Dragon's coming up, and C9 did have control of top side, but they're transitioning this control into the bot side of the map around the Dragon. The reason they're doing this is C9 feel like FlyQuest cannot threaten a Baron at this time of the game very effectively. Baron is a lot harder to take than last season, so you have to be very careful when choosing to make a call that you're going to finish it before they get there. And FlyQuest was, C9 was very aware of the possibility that FlyQuest could go for this Baron. They snuff it out. Quad does get top tower because APA was committing for the Dragon, and that does give Quad a nice injection of gold. But the Dragon is very good. I have no idea what Gakkos is doing here, though. So he does just get caught. Like, what is he doing? I don't really know. It's sort of rhetorical. He's kind of just inting. Blabber, you know, he just finished the Dragon, and yeah, he's killing the crab, and then he just leaves the crab because Gakkos just walks in and dies. All of FlyQuest isn't there. I guess Gakkos just thought he was tankier than he was, but Gakkos doing that resulted in Griffin and Masu dying, the jungler who has smite, and the 80 carry, someone who's quite important to a team fight. So C9 just get Baron off this. And the game was not that bad for FlyQuest before this. They were down 2k gold. Now they're down 4k gold, and there's a Baron on C9, so they're probably going to get some of these tier 2s. So C9's Baron, I would say for the most part, it shouldn't be this easy for C9 to get in the position where they have both mid and side lane pushed, hitting the tower so quickly. Like, this just happened so fast. If we just go back, they hit this on 23:55 wave, and no one is in the enemy jungle at 23:40. They just walk in instantly, and there's no contest. Now, that's because Scion is top, Griffin is top, and Azir is top. They've committed to trading this already. They're very confident in committing to trade this. But if you're going to commit to trade this, Griffin cannot do this. He can't walk up and do a Fury empowered Renekton W when he has no mercs and expect not to get one shot. So he kind of just died. And this is what I was talking about with a bit undisciplined. This is not the only instance of this happening. Now, that death from Masu, okay, that's kind of insane. They kind of do just dive the base really far and kill him. But Griffin dying like that is just such a silly mistake. It's not something you ever want to see, but really you shouldn't be seeing it at this level of play. I think there needs to be more, discipline shown. And this is only going to continue into game 3. This extended sequence from C9, I'm pretty sure it just ends the game. Like, the game was not supposed to end this quickly, and then FlyQuest, I mean, honestly, this is maybe a good example of what I'm talking about. What happened? 3 minutes ago, they were down 2K, and now the game is over. FlyQuest just keeps walking up and dying one by one, getting caught. And the game's over. If we go back to here, it's 2208, and they're down 2K. And then we go to 2508, and they're down 10K. Their base is in shambles. All of them are dead, and they're probably about to lose if they don't do anything. Very questionable macro, and just poor discipline from the side of FlyQuest. You know, each trying to salvage the play by themselves, and then just making it worse and worse. Credit to C9 for punishing FlyQuest well in this way. They did a really good job at, you know, basically just getting the kills that are gifted to them. So, game 2 was a lot better in the early game. About first 15 minutes, maybe the first 20 minutes was pretty solid. But C9 do end the game very quickly, and they were not at all supposed to be able to end that game. Game 3, I think, is FlyQuest's best draft, I would argue. I think the only problem with C9's draft, with FlyQuest's draft, is that the burden of execution is definitely on their shoulders. And if you don't play super well with compositions like FlyQuest, it can lead to very bad feeling games, because when you pick a bot lane like Kalista Renata, you're picking that bot lane because you think it's going to win lane and take over the game from the bot side of the map. And your entire plan is based around that. You're not planning to scale. You could pick a scaling champ here from FlyQuest. You could have just taken the Sivir. I don't know if there's something they're worried about, but I'm pretty sure that most of the things that are really annoying are banned, other than like Draven, but you still have support counterpick. But I think actually C9 didn't punish this properly. I don't think Sivir is the right pick into this. Now, I don't know what is the right pick, but Sivir is really scary here because Kalista is good against Sivir. I think that's what I know from past experience, from remembering what other people tell me. Kalista is good into Sivir. So picking Sivir into Kalista seems like it should be bad. And the burden of execution is on FlyQuest. And it actually does start off pretty good. This level 1 trade is so good for FlyQuest, and it just forces Ven to just recall literally at level 1. Not only do they get a good trade, but they also kill both wards with the sweeper. And yeah, this is awesome. This is why you pick this lane. You want to use this lead to snowball into every dragon on spawn and soul at 23 minutes. And Sivir is just always down, and you want to threaten dives when you can. And that's the game plan. Unfortunately, the game plan does not come to fruition. And it mostly comes down to, notice how low quad is on the mid lane, and notice how healthy APA is. This is going to be important, because the first event that happens in this game is a bot scuttle fight. Both junglers full cleared down bot lane. And if we just pause here for a second, it is a straight 3v3. But notice the mid laners. APA is effectively in perfect condition to fight right now. Almost full HP, enough mana to use the spells multiple times, and is first to the map, and Akali is recalling. So she is not in this fight. So this is just a straight up 4v3. So even though, in my opinion, FlyQuest should win this 3v3, it just isn't 3v3, so they lose it. And not only do they lose it, they hard lose it. 3-0. And something like this is almost openable. Like, this is just so bad for the game, because the lane you are expecting to be able to carry through just got so far behind so quickly. Sven had to base at level 1, has no item. But if we go ahead a little bit, now he has a BF sword. And you know what's crazy is Masu and Cryogen are still winning trades, even though Sven has a BF sword. Imagine he didn't have a BF sword, how hard the lane would be. Anyways, this was really bad for FlyQuest. Now, FlyQuest still follow their game plan. They want to start the dragon. The problem is that the Sivir has a BF sword, and they don't have bot prio. Masu freezes this. Actually, I didn't even notice that Masu froze this. I have no idea why he's freezing this if Griffin wants to do dragon. This doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to do dragon, you cannot be freezing this lane, because C9 just walk up and stop them, and there's a huge ass wave. Blabber gets off of the Krugs, and C9 is just saying Masu is under the tower. They can't do this. So C9 just take over this dragon. So I actually missed when I was doing my notes that Masu tried to freeze that wave. I thought C9 just had winning bot lane because their AD carry had a BF sword. But actually a bad wave management from FlyQuest bot lane. Griffin knows that we're supposed to be doing the dragon here. Okay, that was a bit silly. Now, APA did use flash in that bot scuttle fight. And this is the punish for that flash. APA bases and quad is freezing this mid lane. This is always the scariest part as a mid laner, is when the enemy froze the lane and you're pretty sure you're about to get ganked. What is APA supposed to do here? Basically just call Blabber. There is literally nothing he can do by himself. Griffin alt quad flash R's. This is completely unlivable. And this is very good for the game because APA was building a pretty big lead because he had 2 kills level 1 or level 4 or whatever. And that's good. Okay, so if you're taking notes, write down getting 2 kills level 4 is good. This kill does bring Akali back into the lane somewhat. APA was in a really good spot 1v1, but now isn't in such a dominating position. So here's another macro play from FlyQuest, or a macro mistake from FlyQuest. So Grubs have spawned, and again, FlyQuest, even though their bot lane's not really where they want them to be, they still want to try to snowball this game. And Masu stays an extra wave. Now, you can't stay the extra wave if your support isn't coming back, because then you're going to get dove. Now, the support shouldn't show intentionally when the wave hasn't died bot lane yet. So this is really a mistake on Cryogen, but honestly, he should just not be here yet. He's here too early. Griffin's literally in base, so it's not like he's probably going to be venturing out into the river by himself. He's waiting for his team to help him, but the fact that he's waiting here just leaves Masu to just get dove bot lane. Now, there is a counterpoint to this, and that is C9 getting this kill worth Grubs? I think it is, but I could respect someone who thinks it's not. The problem I have with this is that Kalista really wants to snowball this game, and she is just so shut out of the game. Now, Kalista is relatively resilient, meaning even when she's behind, it doesn't always matter. It's not like a crit AD carry where if you're behind on a crit AD carry, you're completely useless. He's just not going to do that much damage. But if he survives a long time in a fight, he will do a lot of damage. It's not like a Jinx that's on one item that's useless. A Bork Kalista, if allowed to auto attack a lot, will do a lot of damage. So I understand from that sense, but I don't know. It seems wrong to me that we're just not enabling our bot lane here. In the bot lane, there is a 2v2 that FlyQuest still win. Now, just imagine, like that all this terrible stuff didn't happen. It's so sad, and this is why I think FlyQuest comp is actually good. I swear, if this early game was just human from FlyQuest, this would have been so much better. I swear, C9's bot lane is not playable. But anyways, Thanatos gets a nice little solo kill here. Q flash onto where Aurora is going to show up. I haven't really talked about top lane much. Basically, Gatkos has just been winning this lane. And this is another reason I like the FlyQuest draft is... Let me just pause before this fight. That FlyQuest opted to essentially blind pick Aurora top with a 1 ban on 4-5, but they still got a hard winning matchup, except for when he got solo killed. But before he got solo killed, it was good. So if he doesn't get solo killed, then it's going to be good. That's the way I see it. And yes, anyways, now we're talking about Dragon. So I think this is actually one of Griffin's worst games. So this ultimate is just terrible from Griffin. Why is it terrible? Well, C9 is grouped as 4 here. It's 4v4, except for it's not 4v4 because Quad's not here yet. If Quad is here, I'm pretty sure FlyQuest is full sending it onto this Sivir. But Quad isn't here yet, so we can't be full diving. And now we did get Sven's flash, but now we have no Nocturne ulti. And Nocturne is basically useless without his ulti in a team fight. And this leads C9 to get the dragon. And FlyQuest do still get a kill on the back of this. But I think this is just like this doesn't change the fact that if they had Nocturne ulti, this would have gone better. Because I feel like if they just had Nocturne ulti for this part of the fight, it would have just been so much better. Maybe Sven can't auto attack because he has no flash, but honestly, I think just Blabber gets almost one shot and they just cannot fight. C9's not trying to fight here. They're just trying to get the Drake and leave. I think C9, if they more focus on the fight, they had a pretty decent chance at actually winning it. But they opt to instead just play for the dragon and leave. I think it makes sense to do that because FlyQuest is the team that really wants to be dragon stacking. Dragon stacking is not really C9's win condition. They're going to outscale for sure. FlyQuest is the one that needs to dragon stack. So getting another dragon is good for C9, but I don't know if it's worth... Like, I feel like you should just take the odds on a winning fight rather than... you know, play the dragon knowing you're going to lose the fight. Especially when it starts off so good with Nocturne having no ult. You're completely useless without it. Okay, Sven gets caught here. Good trap from the FlyQuest bot lane. Okay, so the next objective that's coming up is Herald. And both teams are opting to go through mid lane. APA is going to come from base to here. But why is Griffin going onto the Bard? This is the second time in a row, essentially, where Griffin has just ulted onto the wrong target before the situation and essentially just wasted his Nocturne ult. Now, FlyQuest say, okay, you know what? We can't fight. We have no Nocturne ulti. We're going to go trade bot, quad stay bot. APA, knowing that he shouldn't go bot lane because he's going to get dove, just goes top side. And here, Gatkos makes a huge error. So they don't actually show what's happening top lane. But, okay, it's Gnar. He's mega. Your team is trade siding bot lane. Don't get comboed when he has mega Gnar. You're not allowed to. You cannot die here as Gatkos. It's so illegal to die here. I think he could play to his limits and stay under this tower this wave. But not when he's this low. Like, he should be even lower than he is now because Thanatos missed a Q on a stun target. But Gatkos gets dove on this wave. This is so like, did you see how this wave died as soon as he pressed R? If C9 tried to dive with mini Gnar and this Aurora ulti under the tower, it's completely impossible to do so. So really bad from Gatkos to die here. And Quad getting plates and tower bot is really good. Blabber was doing Herald while they were diving top. And as immediately after they dove top, Blabber is sitting mid, trapping for Sven. And the reason Mazu goes for this 1v1 ego play is because both supports are staring at each other. Vulcan's kind of putting on his best acting impression. He's pretending like no one's with Sven, so Masu goes in, but Blabber's with Sven. So this is kind of a bait, but it's also Masu did just die for no reason. Another instance, Gakkos died top lane for no reason. Now Masu died mid for no reason. Now all of these deaths result in not a gold lead for C9, but FlyQuest is, it's so like, their win condition is so screwed already. C9 is doing a great job at getting through this early game. The later the game goes, the better for C9. FlyQuest, with everything that C9 used, is going to get the next dragon because Blabber doesn't have ulti. C9 is clearly just not prioritizing this dragon. And instead, now C9 is doing what FlyQuest did earlier on Herald, but with dragon, where C9 is just saying, you know what, you have dragon, we're going to go top lane. And if I were watching live, I might think, whoa, this is where the comeback might happen, because Quad puts on an absolute clinic of Akali here and says, nah, I'd win 1v2 and just completely smurfs it. I think this guy's insane for going for this, but it ends up being really smurfing good, because not only does he kill Flabber 1v1, he gets away and gets APA to flash in, and APA dies. So Quad is just completely smurfing the game here, because he just 1v2'd weak side and killed them, while FlyQuest has Gakkos getting this bot tower. I don't know if the bot tower is alive. No, they're just getting dragon. Sorry, they were getting dragon while he was 1v2'ing. So really good play from Quad to kind of like put some wind back into the sails of FlyQuest, because it kind of just felt like they were getting screwed over and over again. Now, next play. This is okay. This is going to take a bit to explain, or it's going to take a bit of time to see, but just follow Cryogen on the map for the next like 20 seconds, because Griffin is making a beeline top lane because they want to kill APA, who has no flash. Cryogen is not doing anything important right now. Baron is the thing that's spawning in 30 seconds, and he's like retaking bot side. But if we're retaking bot side, we shouldn't go for this top play without him. It's just 3v2. They go on APA, and Cryogen's not here. Masu shows up before Cryogen does by a lot. So it's just a straight up 3v2 for a while until Masu shows up, but Cryogen's not here. If Cryogen was here, this is probably winning for FlyQuest, but he's doing something random. I think what he was doing was not important. I think Griffin probably could have said that he was going bot lane, or excuse me, top lane earlier, and pulled Cryogen to him and got vision around to make this play more successful. But this ends up being just a huge winning fight for C9. And it basically comes down to Blabber actually plays this fight really well because he blocks the Akali E and ults it. But it's mostly just the Cryogen's just not here. Like I'm pretty sure if we, in this situation, if we can imagine a Renata in this fight, it like you can just picture what's going to happen. We're going to Renata ult onto the Orianna, obviously, and then they're all going to die. So maybe that's a bit exaggerated, but you know, it's going to look a lot better than this. Like this is completely losing. It's just straight up 3v2. So I don't like that from FlyQuest. And shortly after, C9 gets some sneaky vision in the enemy jungle, and Griffin kind of gets caught with his pants down here. He's just kind of walking into his own jungle, and Vulcan has a nice little bard play where they see him on the board and they just bard portal in behind him essentially, and he just gets caught out and dies. Another pick for C9, you know, essentially on user error. This wasn't a macro thing. It was just Griffin was just walking somewhere he cannot walk and died for it. And now because that's a jungler, C9 starts the Nash. Now yesterday there were a lot of outnumbered fights from DSG. And in this series, we haven't really had a lot of those. For the most part, it was a even number fight. But I think FlyQuest is kind of running on tilt. because Gakkos just gets caught right after Nash. Another just completely random, we just died for no reason play. And because Gakkos dies right after the Nash, the dragon that just spawned is also just free. It's completely unfightable. It's 5v4. You also have no Nocturne ulti, so even if you want to fight it, you probably just can't. So this sequence has been amazing for Z9. They got a pick, they got a Baron, they got another pick, they got Dragon, and now they're sieging with Baron. However, I think this Nocturne champ might be pretty good because he does just kill Sivir through flash with nothing. However, it ends up still not being a winning fight because it is just a 4v3. It is an extended 4v3, meaning that Blabber doesn't show up until later, but it ends up just being a winning fight for C9, even though at the start of this fight, Sven did just die. Griffin barely gets stunned into the wall, and Thanatos barely lives. If Thanatos dies there, this fight may look different because of Triumph and stuff like that, but Blabber kind of smurfed it. Thanatos also... I mean, Thanatos might have smurfed it more than Blabber did, to be honest. Zen kind of just got ran down by the Nocturne with Stridebreaker Hexplate. And... there's only one way that this game's gonna end, and not literally, but there's only one fitting way, which is FlyQuest is going to walk in and die, and in this case, unfortunately, it's Quad. Quad, I don't know. He did just kind of die for no reason. What is he doing? Well, he wants to go top lane because APA is pushing that lane, but he just gets caught here. And not only does he die, C9 is still with Baron and still ready to push the map. All of these sequences have happened while C9 has had Baron, and now Masu gets caught just like right after for like no reason. Now Vulcan is kind of smurfing, but this is just so many unforced errors in the later half of the series. The first game, you weren't seeing this, but at the little bit last game and a lot this game, where people are just not where they're supposed to be and dying for it. Cryogen died here. So now C9 with this very early Baron managed to not only crack the base, but they also get the inhib. And they're TPing in. They're looking for the end. I don't think it's that easy to end. Honestly, that dive was pretty good, I will say. Now, FlyQuest Quad goes in, kills Ven. A lot of C9 is low, though. And C9 should just leave and get away. But we did kind of just die again. So, yeah, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say when this keeps happening. I kind of feel bad just shit-talking FlyQuest, but, you know, I think they would agree that they completely ran it down at the end of this series. So, C9, well-deserved, commanding and convincing victory. But honestly, I don't know what happened with FlyQuest. They kind of just rolled over. My player of the series, I think I haven't really thought about it much. I think probably my player of the series is going to be Vulcan, just because I don't know, supports never get it. I think he had a good Bard game. I think he had some good vision plays, and you know, it's probably just recency bias. I think FlyQuest just out of sorts. I don't think anyone, when it's a stomp like this, you know, everyone can be considered player of the game. But I'll give it to Vulcan. Good job, Vulcan. And now we'll get to see FlyQuest versus Sentinels next week, and some other matches that I don't remember. So other matches with Team Liquid and Lion against the people that lost this week. And that'll be fun. That'll be exciting. I'm excited to watch those games, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to tune in the next time that I do my stream outro. Make sure to watch the next video that I post, which will be the playoff match between whoever plays. And have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.